So we all know that air conditioners don't last forever. But the big question is how long should an AC unit last? Because no one wants to throw away thousands of dollars if your current AC system still has a few good years in it. So we service thousands of customers every single year. So I'll share with you in this video how other folks like you are answering this question. But wait, there's more. If you have an HVAC company telling you that it's time to replace your AC system, but it's running just fine, and if you think that there's something fishy going on, I'm also going to share with you the top 5 questions to ask your AC tech. Hi, this is Kenneth with Atlas AC, and at any point during this video, if you find it to be helpful, please hit the like button, and that will really help me out with the YouTube algorithms. So we work on thousands of AC units every single year, and I'm not saying that we've seen everything, but we have seen a lot. We've replaced systems that were only 6 months old all the way up to 40 years old. So here at Atlas, we do not believe in telling our customers what they should and should not be doing, aka forcing a sell. Our number one job is to simply educate our customers and let them make the best decision for them and their family. So whenever I'm talking about what we see in the field, I'm going to try to keep things as non-biased as possible. So to answer this question on how long an AC unit should last, I'm going to break it up into 3 different time frames. First being 1 to 10 years, second being 10 to 15 years, and third being 15 plus years. And the reason why I'm breaking it up into 3 different categories is because folks generally handle this question differently depending on how old the system is. So let's say you have an AC unit that is less than 10 years old. In this category, we don't see a lot of folks replacing their systems. They usually opt to repair. And the reason for this is if the equipment was registered with the manufacturer, you have a 10-year warranty on your parts. So the cost to repair the system if something happens to it usually ends up being fairly inexpensive. So the first 10 years of an AC unit's life is kind of in its glory days, and you shouldn't end up having too many issues with it. So if I look at our sales for last year to see what percentage of people change out their system in this time frame, it only comes up to about 5%. And it was either due to a bad install or a homeowner that was wanting to upgrade to a better system. So the only time we recommend changing out a system in this time frame is if it was simply a botched install or you're just simply not satisfied with it and want to upgrade to a better system. Now when we move into the 10 to 15 year mark, we find ourselves in a little bit of a gray area. And what I mean by that, here at Atlas we try to get HVAC systems to last at least 15 years, and everything past that is icing on the cake. And another thing to note here is most manufacturers' warranties run out after 10 years, so repairing or replacing a major component can get quite costly. So let's say you have a 12-year-old system and a major component fails and it's going to cost a couple $1,000s to fix it. If you repair the system and spend a couple $1,000s, you should be able to get roughly 3 more years out of it. And that is as long as you're keeping the system well maintained. So it's going to be entirely up to you if you want to use that money to invest in a new system or get a few more good years out of it. And again, I can't guarantee anything. This is all just a rule of thumb. So about 20% of our changeouts that we do each year are to replace air conditioners in this time frame. And it's largely due to homeowners wanting to upgrade to a better system or a homeowner just simply not wanting to deal with an aging system. Now once a system gets past 15 years old, if a major repair comes up and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to fix it, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense to dump money into it. And the reason for this is what we see whenever you have one major component go out on an older system in this time frame, there's a lot more components that fail shortly after. So from that point on, you're going to constantly be spending money to keep your system up and running. And it's just simply all the components seem to wear out at the same time. Whether that's intentional or not, I don't know, but go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments below. So about 75% of the changeouts that we do each year are to replace older AC units in this time frame. And it's either due to a major component failure or simply folks being proactive. So if you have an AC tech in your house and they're telling you that your system's on its way out, and you really need to replace it at this time, but it doesn't seem right to you because the system's been running just fine, and you haven't had any issues with it, and you're questioning whether or not the diagnosis is legit or not. Well, I'm going to go over the top 5 things that usually takes out an AC system and the questions that you can ask them to see if their diagnosis is legit or not. So first up on our list is the condensing coil. If you have a 15-year-old system and the condensing coil springs a leak, it can be very costly to replace it. And it could run anywhere in between $3,000 to $4,000 to replace it. And if you're going to spend that kind of money and you're looking for more of a long-term fix, it's going to make more sense to put that money towards a new AC system. Now there are a couple ways to know whether or not you have a refrigerant leak at the condenser. Now the simplest way to tell is by looking for oil on the condensing coils. If you find oil on the coil, you probably have a leak. For us here at Atlas, we also use an electronic sniffer to double verify that's where the leak is. So you can simply ask, can you show me where the leak's at? And if he can't visually show you the oil or the readings on an electronic sniffer, you should probably get a second opinion. Now there is one other way to track down a leak, but it's becoming less and less common because the electronic sniffers have become really accurate. But you have to use the expensive ones and not the cheapies off of Amazon. So if you're wanting to know where a leak is without a doubt, request the tech to do a pressure test. And that's when you pump down the system, fill it up with nitrogen, and see if the pressures drop over time. Next up we have the TXV. Now these don't fail all too often, but it does happen. And essentially what a TXV does is it regulates the refrigerant to the evaporator coil. And it's going to cost close to $2,000 to have it replaced. So how you know that you have a bad TXV is if you have a technician that's trying to balance out the freon pressures to factory specifications, and nothing that he's trying is working. Then if you warm up the bulb on the TXV using something like a hot glass of water, our gauges should show movement in the pressures. Now if they don't change, that means the TXV is locked up and needs to be replaced. So if you're being told that you have a bad TXV, you can simply ask, can you show me how you arrived at this conclusion? And if he ends up hawing around and doesn't say something very similar to what I just said, then you probably just got your answer. Now there are other ways to diagnose a bad TXV, but 90% of the time you're going to warm up the bulb and watch to see if your pressures change on your gauges. And next up after the TXV, we have the blower motor. And blower motors do go out fairly routinely. And it can cost anywhere from $1,000 all the way up to $3,000 to replace, depending on what type of motor it is. And I can't tell you the number of these that we've replaced on a 15-year-old system, just to go back out 3 months later and find something else wrong with the system. And then the question becomes, do we want to keep dumping money into repairs, or do we replace it? Now if we have a completely failed blower motor, it's just not going to fire up and you're not going to have any air movement. So at the end of the day, it's fairly obvious. Now if it's in the process of failing, that's a little bit of a different story. So the motor is designed to operate in between 40 to 50% of its max amp ratings. So for us, if we find a blower that's operating at 70% of its max capacity, we flag it and say it's time to keep an eye on this guy. And if we come back out, let's say 6 months later to do a preventative maintenance, and it's now pulling 80% of its max capacity, we know that it's going to fail any day now. And at this juncture, we recommend replacing the blower, or if the system is older, you may want to consider a full changeout. So if you have a technician that's telling you that you need to replace your blower motor, but everything seems to be running hunky-dory, you can simply ask him, can you show me the amp draws that the motor was pulling? Then once you have that number, you can ask what the motor was rated for, do a little bit of math, and then now you know. And if the technician is struggling to come up with those numbers, then you might want to get a second opinion. And the next one is a biggie. It's when your evaporator coil springs a refrigerant leak. And to replace an evaporator coil is going to cost around $3,000. And what we see most homeowners do with a 15 plus HVAC system is opt to replace everything when they find out they have a leaking evap coil. And most of the time you can track down the leak in the evap coil by simply checking to see if you can find any oil spots, and that's going to be a sign of a refrigerant leak. Now I always recommend using an electronic sniffer to simply double verify that the leak is indeed there. So just like earlier with the condensing oil, you can simply ask the tech, can you show me where the leak is? If he can't show you a picture with oil stains or clear readings on an electronic sniffer, and he also didn't do a pressure test, you need to get a second opinion. And lastly, the most common reason why we see homeowners replace their HVAC system is due to compressor failure. So we do see quite a bit of compressor failures each year, and it costs $3,000 to $4,000 to replace one. Now how you can tell that your compressor has failed and not something else is by checking the electrical panel for the AC unit. And if you see that you have a trip breaker that is powering the AC unit, there's a very good chance that the compressor shorted and tripped the breaker. Now, how would you know if your compressor is about to fail any day now, but your system is still running? So much like running a similar test for the blower motor, we're going to test the amp draws. A compressor that is running strong and has a long working life ahead of it, it's going to be working around 50% of its max amp draw capacity. And once the amp draws reach closer to 70%, that means it's having a harder time keeping up and is going in the wrong direction. So that means we need to keep a close eye on it. Now, once the compressor gets up to 80% of its max amp draw capacity, that means it's on its way out and it needs to be replaced, because it could literally fail any day now. So if you have a technician that is telling you that you need to replace your compressor, but it seems like your system is running just fine, just simply ask what the amp draws were, and then ask what it's rated for. Do a little bit of math, and now you know. And once again, if the technician doesn't have those numbers or is struggling to come up with those numbers, you might want to get a second opinion.
If you found this video to be helpful, please hit the like button. We also have free buyer's guides and price lists on our website that you might want to check out. Until next time, have a good one.